I'd like to conclude. I know that you are probably continuing to watch this because you have been hurt. And I want to remind you that God is not requiring that you say that's okay. And if you have feelings, and Satan may emphasize them, feelings that if you were to say that's okay, it would mean that you are worthless. And maybe you're struggling with that. But I want to tell you, God is not asking you to be God for long enough to say that's okay. God is asking you to forgive. And I've explained to you what I believe forgiveness is. It's saying, I will not collect. But maybe you're still struggling. Maybe you're looking at that, you're this person who has been hurt. And you want to forgive. But the pain and the darkness that has been brought into your life by their act of sin is just too big. And it somehow seems to you that if you give God your IOU, that He won't collect enough. That person who hurt you will not truly understand the pain that they caused if you forgive. Because let's face it, God is just too loving. I want to tell you, I can relate. I can relate to that emotion. So will you do something for me right now? Will you close your eyes and will you go to that dark spot in your heart? It's there. That spot where you wish that the person who hurt you could understand how much it hurt. And right now, with your eyes closed, I want you to unpack that little room. What is the worst thing? What is it that you wish that that person who hurt you would experience? No, don't be ashamed of it. Don't hide from it. On the worst day when you were struggling the worst, what is it that you wished would happen to that person? I want you to envision it. Even name it out loud if you need to. Have you done it? I'm serious. Say to yourself, I wish. And name the person who's hurt you. And name what it is you wish would happen to them. It's pretty scary. But it's a dark place you've been walking in. And now with me, with your eyes still closed, will you picture Jesus Christ? Will you picture Him standing in that court, being testified about falsely? Will you picture His friends running and His trusted assistant betraying Him for money? Will you picture Jesus being beaten? Beaten until His back was bloody. Will you picture His beard being ripped out and a crown of thorns being placed on His head? Will you picture the pain that He suffered as nails were driven into His hands and into His feet and a sword piercing His side? And when you've pictured all of that, when you've pictured that much pain, if that wasn't enough to buy the forgiveness, then will you picture whatever it is that you wish would have happened to the person who hurt you, will you picture that as well happening to Jesus? Because Jesus offered to take all of our sins. However many stripes you think are needed, Jesus would have taken them. Do you understand? Forgiveness is never about you. It is about something that Jesus did to pay for his children. The sins that were committed to you, the things that were done to you, the hurts and wounds that you suffered have been paid for. They were paid on the cross. And I know you've been coming to church and talking about forgiveness. Maybe you grew up in an environment where people confessed their sins. And the thing is that because they were good church people, they were little sins. And so each week or each month you would come and you would admit these little sins. And you began to think that that's what Jesus died for. He died for the little spat that you had with your wife, the little bout with lust that you had, or the pride you showed at work. That's what he died for, and he forgave it. No, Jesus died for the most painful, hurtful sin that has ever been done to you. God's not asking you to say, that's okay. It's all right, I'm not worth it. No, God is asking only one thing. For you to say, I will not collect. God, here's my IOU. You collect if you choose. But I am free. And who the Son has set free will be free indeed.